the last session, we covered the Bastion host, right? With which we can connect or we can access the private subnet instances. That is what we covered in the last session. So give me a second. Okay. So in this session, let's talk about network ACL, which is also known as NACL. So I think already you might have some idea about ACL, right? Have you ever heard about the ACL? Forget about NACL. Have you heard about the term ACL? In S3 topic, we used the ACL, right? So ACL stands for Access Control List. So what is the purpose of ACL in the S3? To make any object public or a private, we use an ACL, which means to control the access of an object, right? The same way here, NACL stands for Network Access Control List, which can control the network access, like who can access or what ports will be accessible, what ports to be exposed, or what traffic to be denied. All the things we can configure in the NACL. So in short, we can say NACL is a network level firewall. It is a firewall only, but which operates at network level, which operates at network level. So already we know about a different type of a firewall, which is a security group, right? What is the purpose of security group? By default, all traffic will be denied. Whatever the rules you create, based on the rules, the traffic will be allowed enter into the EC2 instance, right? The instance, which means the security group is available or operates at in front of EC2 instance. Whereas the NACL is operating at network level, subnet level, we can say. We can say NACL is a subnet or network level firewall. Whereas the security group is a firewall, but which operates at instance level. I'll give you a simple example to understand this better, a simple comparison. Let us say you're staying in a house, okay, which is having one main entrance door and individual doors for every room. What will happen if you lock the main entrance door? Nobody enter into the house, right? What if you open the main entrance door and lock all the individual doors of the rooms? They can enter into the house, but they cannot access your individual rooms. The same way, or in a different comparison, I can say that the NACL is like kind of a compound wall gate, main entrance gate of the compound, whereas the security groups are the individual doors of each and every room. By default, whenever we create the VPC and the subnets, there is a default NACL exists, which allows all traffic by default. What if your organization asked you to secure the network? You might say all, because in general, why we allow all traffic at the NACL is for every EC2 instance, we are having a security group where we are configuring all the security related things. But the problem with this is nobody can access your EC2 instance. But what happens? Let us say there is someone who is trying to take over your EC2 instance server one. What he will do? He might enter and he try to access your EC2 instance. How? He might use like thousands of computers to send some kind of unnecessary traffic so that your server will be busy or your security group might be busy to handle this kind of a traffic. But this traffic is already entered into your network, which consumes all the bandwidth of your network, so that the other instances might get some issues with the network bandwidth. But what if we configure some security rules at the NACL level? It is like kind of main security. At this stage itself, it will eliminate all the unnecessary traffic. The main advantage here is I want to, let us say, this particular user's IP address is 1.2.3.4. The beauty of the NACL is in the NACL, not only allow rules, you can write deny rules also. We can write deny rules also. What does that mean? By default, all traffic allowed, right? But what I do is I will write a rule like 1.2.3.4 deny. Means whatever the traffic is coming from the 1.2.3.4, that will be blocked at the network level itself. It will not enter into the network, but all other sources can enter into your subnet and all. So NACL is a network level firewall in which we have more control about what traffic to be allowed and what traffic to be denied. Because security group is also a firewall. Let us compare the NACL with a security group. Let us compare NACL with security group. First, let us write down few points about the NACL. NACL is a network level firewall which operates at subnet level, Let us compare the NACL with a security group. And here there are few other things also. Let us write down few points first. NACL is a stateless firewall. NACL is a stateless firewall. I will explain what exactly the stateless means. It is a stateless firewall. What does that mean? For every incoming rule, we need to allow outbound traffic explicitly. For every inbound traffic, or I can say for every inbound traffic allowed, we need to allow outbound traffic explicitly. Whereas for the security group, that is not required. I will explain what exactly that means. So let us say this is your subnet. This is your subnet. Okay. And you are having NACL. Right? In which you are having an EC2 instance. This is EC2 instance in which a website is running. And here there is a security group. In the security group, 22 allow, for example, 80 port allowed. Okay. And here for NACL also, there are two types of rules available. One is inbound and the second one is outbound. One is inbound and the second one is outbound. Outbound in the sense outgoing traffic. Inbound means incoming traffic. Okay. Now here, let us say there is a user. Let us say the IP address of this is 1.2.3.4 and the user's IP address is 21.22.23.24. So what happens? So here in the inbound, I allowed 80 traffic allow. I created a rule called 80 allow. What happens? The request will go like this. This is the request using which port? 80 port, right? The request is going with the help of port number 80. And then in the NACL, it will check or anywhere, right? What happens? It checked that incoming traffic is 80 port. Yes, there is a rule for 80 port to be allowed from anywhere. So it will enter. It will enter into the network. Then it will reach a security group. In the security group, 80 traffic is allowed. Then it enter and it communicates with the website. Then what happens? the website will send a response. Website will send a response, a web page. And this is outgoing. This is incoming traffic, right? This is inbound traffic or incoming traffic. This is inbound traffic or incoming traffic. Let us make it more clear. Whatever you can see in the purple color, that is inbound traffic. And the response for the incoming request, there is a response, right? That response is going outside from the EC2 instance, right? So in the security group also, there is an outbound rule, but the security group is a stateful firewall. What does that mean by stateful firewall? For the incoming traffic or inbound traffic, which is allowed in the inbound rules, the response of the inbound request will be automatically allowed outside. No need of a specific rule or a separate rule for the outgoing response of an incoming request. So the response like this, it reaches NACL. This is outbound traffic. And it reaches the NACL. Now, the NACL is a stateless firewall. What does that mean by stateless firewall? The outbound traffic, whether it is a response for the incoming request or a brand new request going outside, there should be an explicit outbound rule required. Without having a proper outbound rule for the outgoing traffic, a new outgoing traffic or a response for the incoming request. So what type of outgoing traffic it is? It is a response for the allowed inbound traffic, allowed inbound request. It is not a brand new outbound request. It is a response for the inbound traffic. Already that inbound traffic was allowed. But in like simple thing, let us say you are going to some like a kind of a private property, right? Before entering, you need a permission, right? Before entering into that particular building, they will validate your identity. If you have a valid permission, they will allow you to enter. But while you are leaving the building, no one will verify, right? Whether you are supposed to leave or not, there is no validation. They will allow you to leave. And if you compare a kind of, let us say the jail, before entering, they will verify. If you have a permission to enter, then only they will allow you. At the same time, while you are leaving the jail also, someone is leaving the jail, again, they will verify whether he has a permission to leave the jail or not. Even you're going to jail for an interview purpose or something, whatever, they will verify the permissions while you are leaving also. That is how the NACL you can understand. For the NACL, all the inbound traffic and outbound traffic, there should be a separate rule. Why? NACL is a stateless firewall. It doesn't depends on the approval for inbound and all. What does that mean by here? For every inbound traffic, we need to allow outbound traffic explicitly or not? This is not the proper explanation. I think I will write. We need to create an explicit outbound rule to allow the response of the inbound request. Inbound request response means the inbound request is already allowed to the NACL. The response should go outside through the NACL, right? In that case, there should be an explicit outbound rule. Okay. In this example, on which port the traffic is going outside? On which port the traffic is going outside? Do you think 80 port? No. The response of an inbound request is not going outside using the same port. There is a concept called, I mean, this is not an AWS thing. There is a generic thing. If you are accessing a website on 443, web server is sending you a response, but not on 443 port. Okay. You are received, that is called as ephemeral ports. Ephemeral ports. That's why in the real time, inbound, we will we will only allow the required things, but outbound, we will allow all outgoing traffic. Okay. So I will say outgoing response, of the incoming request uses ephemeral ports, and need to allow the ephemeral ports on the NACL outbound routes. Again, in the real time, we don't really care about the outgoing traffic of the NACL. We will allow all outgoing traffic, but for incoming, we will definitely harden that. Okay. NACL supports both allow or deny rules. Whereas in the security group, you can only write allow rules. You can't write a deny rules. What does that mean? You can allow all traffic, you can allow a specific traffic or something, but you cannot deny a specific traffic. Like you can write a rule that whatever the traffic is coming from so and so IP address, please deny it. That is not possible in the security group. But in the NACL, that is possible. In the NACL, every rule has a rule number. Every rule has a rule number, and the rules are evaluated from lowest to, or I can say, rules with lowest number has highest priority. There should be some order to execute, right? So the lowest numbered rule will execute first, and the highest numbered rule will execute it last. And here in the NACL, the moment a rule is found for the incoming traffic, rest of the rules will be ignored and the traffic will be allowed or denied. I will show you that practically. Theoretically, that looks like a little bit awkward. Let us see practically so that you can understand. Okay. So first of all, observe how NACL rules looks like. Then we will create and we will do all the things. Okay. Let us log into our Amazon account, go to VPC. And on the left side, you can see network ACLs under security. Click on that. Here you can observe there is two NACLs, out of which one is our my first VPC NACL. Let me select that. So here details, inbound rules, outbound rules, subnet associations, and all right. Let me click on inbound rules. Let me write down first. Okay. Every NACL will have inbound rules and outbound rules. Inbound rules. Now, what all we have? Rule number first. Rule number. Then type. Then protocol. Port range. Source. Then allow or deny. Right? These are the columns which we have in the NACL's inbound rule. Okay, let me write down. This is a default NACL. The first rule number is 100. Type all traffic. Protocol is going to be all. Port range, all. Source 0000/0. Allow or deny. Allow, right? Then another rule, star all traffic, all 0.0.0.0/0 direct. What does that mean? Does all incoming traffic will be allowed or all incoming traffic will be denied? Star has a lowest priority. So what happens? Let's say you're trying to access website on 80 port. So what is the lowest number here? 100 is the lowest number. First, it will be evaluated 100, all traffic. So mine is a TCP traffic, which belongs to all traffic. Protocol, HTTP protocol belongs to all protocols. Port range, my port number is 80 and it belongs to all. My IP address is 21.22.23.24, which belongs to 0000 and hello. So this is the appropriate rule for my incoming request so that it will not process further rules. It will evaluate that. Okay. Then let us list out the outbound rules also. That also looks like same, but some differences I will show. Outbound rules, rule number, type, protocol, port range, destination. The same way. Generally, we will never touch outbound rules. All traffic will be allowed by default. Now, what we do is create a new NACL. I will say my first VPC-NACL and associate all subnets or associate public subnet with the new NACL. Don't create any rules. With all default rules, let us associate. Before that, what I do is we need to test it, right? We need to test whether traffic is getting denied or not. Create a Linux EC2 instance and host a basic website which runs on 80 port. Okay, just quickly let us do that. Then we will see the NACL part and all. Because first I will check whether the website is accessible or not. The moment once we modify the NACL rules, we will verify whether the traffic is getting allowed or not. Theoretically, it is a little bit confused. So we need to verify each and every point practically so that you will get some clarity on. Okay, so let me go to instances. Okay, these all are Windows machines. Let me terminate them. Yesterday I forgot to terminate. Okay, let me launch a new EC2 instance. Do we have any AMIs? Yeah, we have, right? Let me use this to create the website. Launch instance, web server, some name, some meaningful name. And AMI, I will use this one. Okay. T2.micro is enough. Okay. And let me create that in the my first VPC public subnet. Security group. I'm going to create a new security group. Linux SSH HTTP. Because I'm going to run a website, HTTP must be allowed. Launch instance. Okay, anywhere. Instance is getting created, all right? And we'll wait until the website is accessible. Once the website is accessible, then we will continue with the NACL part, like creating the NACL and all. Even you guys can check. Let me share the IP address in the chat. So you can check whether the website is accessible or not. Because in the NACL rules, I will block only my IP. So I cannot be accessed, but you guys can access because you are not using internet from my IP address, right? That are all the things we will check in the today's session so that you will get some clarity on how an NACL works and all. Right? What happened? I don't know what that AMI contains. Okay, let me log in first. I think we created that for the auto scaling part, right? I guess yes. Service HTTPD status. Yeah, it is running. Space var www html ll. Yeah, index.html is also available. Then what's the problem? Why the website is not accessible? Did we allow the 80 port? Can you guys check from your machine that the website is accessible or not? The IP address which I shared, right? Can someone check? Did I give the correct IP first of all? Yes, but why I am not able to access? Okay, I think in Chrome I have some issues with something. Okay, let me access here. HTTP IP address. Yeah, this is auto screen. So website is accessible now, right? There is no problem with the website running. Means in the security group we allowed 80 port and all. And in the NACL also all traffic is getting allowed. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create a new NACL and we will associate the public subnet with the new NACL. How to create NACL? So navigate to VPC, network ACLs, create network ACL. I will say my first VPC dash NACL, some name. In which VPC you would like to create? My first VPC and create network ACL. Don't do this practice blindly. Now what we done? We created a new VPC, sorry, new NACL for the VPC. Now what we are going to do, we need to check what are the default rules for the newly created NACL. This is the newly created NACL, right? Let me check inbound rules. No traffic allowed. Outbound rules, no traffic allowed. So here, let us write down a note point. By default, all inbound and outbound traffic will be denied in the newly created NACL. What are the new NACL we created? In that NACL, all inbound and outbound traffic will be denied. Now, what we have to do, we need to associate our public subnet. So go to subnet associations of the NACL, edit subnet associations, and let me select the public subnet. What is the meaning of that? My public subnet is fixed with the newly created NACL. Now, can you guys refresh the website? Your traffic will be denied. Your traffic will be denied. What does that mean? What does that mean? No incoming or no inbound traffic is getting allowed by the NACL. NACL is not allowing our traffic. NACL is not allowing our traffic. right? Okay, so now what we have to do is we need to create an inbound rule. Create an inbound rule in the NACL to allow HTTP traffic from anywhere, from anywhere. How to do that? This is the default rule, right? Now, what we're going to do is we are going to create a new rule like this. Type all traffic. No, sorry, not all traffic. Okay, let us do one thing. While creating, we will do, right? Type kind of a TCP or a UDP protocol, HTTP, right? Port range 80, source anywhere, LO or deny LO. That is what we have to write. Okay. So how? Go to inbound rules, edit inbound rules. Rule number, I will say add new rule number 100. Type all traffic means all traffic will be allowed, but not all traffic. Just I'm going to allow custom protocol. Custom protocol. What type of protocol? Sorry, custom TCP. What is the port number? 80. HTTP is 80. Source anywhere. This is what we are going to write. Type custom TCP. Protocol is 80. Sorry. Protocol is going to be the TCP. Port range is going to be 80. Source 0.0.0.0/0. And now we are going to allow. Right? Save changes. Now what happens? Are we able to browse the website from anywhere? You must answer for this question. Are we able to access the website from anywhere? Yes or no? Okay, now open your browser. Just refresh the web page. Are you able to see the website? No. Why? Still, still we are unable to access. The reason is, let me show you. What is happening now? This is you. You are sending a request. NACL, there is a rule to allow. It is entering. Reach the website. Web server send you the response. It gets through the security group, reaches NACL. It needs to cross the NACL, but in the NACL outbound rule, there is no rule in the outbound rules to allow that response. That's why the NACL is blocking the response which you have to receive by receive through the NACL, which is sent by the website. Right? So that is what you need to observe. So here, write down a point. Still, we cannot access the website, or still we cannot access the website as there is no explicit rule to allow the outbound response sent by the web server. So what we have to do here, create an outbound rule to allow all traffic to all destinations. Generally, in the real time, we create all traffic for outbound. We don't set any restrictions for that. Even I am pasting the rules like how it looks like, which will helpful for you while you're doing the practice. This is how it is supposed to look. Let me modify. Go to outbound rules, edit, add new rule, 100, all traffic, destination, save changes. Now what should happen? We should be able to access the website. Let us try. See here, right? Okay. Now I will ask you a few questions. So I will leave about the what we call that, leave about outbound rules. We don't touch that. You need to tell what exactly happens. What happens if the inbound rules looks like a below? Right. One 20 custom TCP 80. Okay, let me get my IP address. What is my IP? Okay, this is my IP address. Always a single IP address is represented with slash a 30 a 2. Single IP address always represented with a single a slash 32. Slash 32. Okay, now what will happen? If I create like this, what will happen? Let me show you. Let me create that rule and you need to answer what should happen in the inbound rules. Edit inbound rule, add new rule, 120, rule number is 120, port number 80. And here I will enter my IP address. This is my IP address only. Allow rule deny. Now, what exactly happens with these rules? You need to explain. What is the meaning of this rule? These rules. Even though if you say wrong, there is no issue. Just try to understand and try to explain what is going to happen with these inbound rules. Anyone? We can't allow due to deny rule. What do you mean by we can't allow? Means nobody can access website. I mean, you need to respond in this way. Everybody can access, or only few people can access the website, or only one person will be denied, or one person cannot access. We refers to everybody, right? Do you mean no one can access the website? Okay. Let us say, even you guys can check, right? Do you have a IP address? Just refresh that IP address and check whether you are able to access the website or not. Okay, before that, let me explain what should happen. Everybody can access. Why? The rules will be evaluated in the order, lowest number to highest number first. Assume you are trying to access. So you, or for myself, for everyone, first rule number 100. Yes, type is 80, TCP, port range 80, and your IP address belongs to this source and allow. That's it. It won't go for the other rules. And this source, even my IP address belong to there only. This is my IP address, right? But here itself, rule number 100 itself, for my request, there is a rule found and I will be allowed. Let me show you. If I go and if I refresh, see here, still I'm able to access. So in this case, website is accessible from anywhere across the globe. Now let us say in a different way. You need to answer this for sure. In this case, what will happen? In this case, what will happen? So first, which rule number will be evaluated? 50, right? Assume you are accessing. I am also accessing the website. So first, go with your request. Rule number 50 will be evaluated for everyone. Your traffic belongs to custom TCP. Your protocol is TCP. Your port range is 80, but your IP address doesn't belong to this source, which means this rule number 50 is not for you. Even you can check what is my IP. This is not your IP address. Then next rule, rule number 100. TCP, protocol matching with your request, port number 80 matching with your request, your IP address belongs to this source, and you will be allowed. So you can access the website. You can check now. Now I'm going to access. What do you mean by denied? You are unable to access the website. You should access the, you should see the web page. Could you, I explained, right? For your traffic, for your request, you should see the web page. Could you please refresh the page and could you please check whether you are able to see the web page or not? If you are getting access denied means whatever I explained, that is completely wrong. On, in the sense you are able to see the web page, right? Good. And what if I try to access? Again, same thing. First rule number 50. Yes, my request type is TCP. My request protocol is TCP. My port range is 80. And this is my IP address. So everything is getting matched. And this rule number 50 will be applied for my traffic. And I will be denied, means my IP address will be denied from accessing the website. Let me check. I mean, whenever you're refreshing, you're not supposed to refresh what we call that in such a way, close it and reopen it. Because sometimes browser's cache, the web page will be loaded from the browser's cache also. Wait, we haven't modified the rule, right? When we have to check, we need to edit the rule first, right? I just typed the rule on the notepad, not on the NACL. Okay. Once it is done, now you need to check. Could you guys please check and confirm that you are able to access the web page? Yes, you guys are able to access. See, for me, it is trying to loading. You can see it is rotating. And don't do like enter, control F5. Do a control F5. Or a control, sorry, not control enter. See here. For me, the request is not getting allow. Okay, now let us modify. So here, let me write down that. Website is not accessible from the location 106.222.234.230, and the website is accessible from all other allocations. Now let me modify the inbound rules again. If I do 50, sorry, no, I will wait 100. In this case, what happens? Let me save, show. Yeah. Now what should happen? Earlier, I was denied. I mean, my location was denied and everybody can access. But here, only from this particular location, the website is accessible. If you want, you can check. You guys cannot access. Do Control F5, not F5. Control F5 on the same browser. like this. You will get page access, page not found error. And now I'm able to see it, right? Can you guys confirm that you are not getting the website, the web page? So now here, now what happens? Everybody can access the website. I mean, from anywhere the website is accessible. So in the NACL, you can write hello, you can write deny runs. Could you guys please check that you are able to access the website? Just do a control F5 and just confirm it. Once everything is done, we need to revert all the changes, or otherwise that will be problem for our next coming practicals, because whatever the NACL we are using, that will not allow any traffic, right? So what I do is associate, or I can say revert all NACL changes by associating the public subnet with the default NACL, with the default NACL. How? See here. Where is our default NACL? This is the default NACL of the My First VPC. Select it. Click on Subnet Associations. Right now, only private subnet is associated with the network ACL. Edit. Select public subnet and save changes. That's it. Now, your public subnet also using the same default NACL. Just you can write down a note point. Default NACL, default NACL allows all inbound and outbound traffic by default. That's why in these many days, we never created any rule in the NACL. The default NACL allows all inbound and outbound traffic by default. Right. So this is about NACL. A small topic, but you can do a lot of things. A lot of probabilities are there. A lot of combinations are there. You can check whatever you want here, and you can try to understand how NACL works. Are you guys clear, or any questions on this NACL?